So the Eater archetype was one that I was actually really excited to see when it was first revealed in BT22 Cyber Eden. It's really reminiscent of another kind of control style deck in Mother D Reaper, one that really pushed the power of control in the Digimon card game. Players who've been playing for a long time probably have not so fond memories of this deck back when it was released. As far as the Eater deck was concerned, the BT22 iteration proved a little bit lacking in speed and therefore required some other expensive control tools in Medieval Gallantmon and Death Exmon, cards that can really put a strain on your wallet if you didn't already have them, to slow the opponent down enough to play the game. The new cards, however, which provide more support for that archetype, really seem to push the power and speed of the Eater's decks to new heights though. The Eater Legion letting you play out more Eater cards from hand is nice and speeds up the deck overall. Not to mention its Alliance plus Reboot keyword effects and relatively cheap cost evolution from an Erika Mishima tamer. The Eater bit is also much needed resource for the deck, letting it relatively cheaply take out floodgates like Gotsumon or Psychemon that completely shut down the deck in the past. Their secondary effect to provide cover for your other Eden cards also seems pretty good. While the gameplay for the Eden deck is to get those 10 source cards underneath your Mother Eater as fast as possible, sometimes it's nice to keep threats on the board. And the Eater bit acting as a sacrifice to let them remain gives the deck some much needed flexibility. Finally, the Eater Eden is a scary little fella. Bottom decking a 6-cost Digimon or Tamer makes it an immediate threat to every Tamer in the game right now. And the fact that you can raise this 6-cost threshold seems scary for Digimon as well. While the Eater Eden is noticeably missing the inheritance effect that so many of its counterparts have that lets you reduce play cost when it's in the sources of your Mother Eden in the breeding area, it makes up for this with its all turns effect that lets you play out other Eater cards with no restriction, might I add. This is particularly interesting because of how the effect is worded. It says that when you would leave the battle area, meaning that if you have an Eater bit on the board alongside your Eden and your opponent tries to remove your Eden, you can use the Eden's effect to first play out another Eater card from your hand for free and then sacrifice the Eater bit to keep the Eden on board. Pretty scary, right? I feel like during the mid game when you get one of these guys up alongside an Eater bit, it's going to be really tough for your opponent to keep anything on board for a long time. Not to mention the possibility of just getting completely swarmed by Eater cards. Also, I completely forgot about this, but the Erika Mishima Tamer giving your Eater Eden Alliance and Inheritance is actually pretty cool. This lessens the load for your Mother Eaters to close out the game, not to mention that you can just swarm on the board with your own Digimon thanks to the Eater Eden's effect, and then use them to hit for 2 checks. After seeing what some of the new Liberator support cards have done for previously introduced Liberator decks in the game, I'm really excited for Ghost in BT23. As of recording this, the new EX10 cards in Magnetic Dramon and the Closed Tamer cards are really powerful and have really put that deck at the forefront of the entire game, and seeing how powerful some of the new Ghost cards are gives me hope for this deck as well. Many of the new cards do seem a little bit more defensively focused, whereas in the past I think the Ghost deck has been given a lot of power to push its offense. Now they're trying to keep the scales in balance by giving them things like blocker and retaliation off of the level 2 Demimeramon. You've also got the level 3 Ghostmon who's going to give blocker to one of your ghosts, and the Bakemon who's also going to let you delete one of your opponent's level 4 lower Digimon on play and when he's evolved. And also to keep up with the speed of the other ghost cards, their on deletions gain 1 memory is a welcome addition. Similar to some of the other new level 5s introduced for the Liberator cards, the level 5 Phantomon letting you hop from a level 3 to a level 5 directly if you have the Violet and Boost Tamer on the board is a welcome addition to speed up the deck and get to your boss monsters more quickly, while also retaining the on deletion effect of letting you play out a level 4 Digimon with the ghost trait whenever he's deleted. That in inheritance and on the card itself. This means you don't have to sacrifice anything by just running 4 copies of this guy. This seems like a really good balance with the previous Phantomon. The only difference between these two cards is the hand main effect lets you warp and execute, and honestly if you're trying to get your level 6 or level 7 for the deck, the execute's not super necessary on the level 5. Honestly, I expect this level 5 to become the mainstay for the deck, whereas the execute level 5 might just be relegated to 2 or 3 copies. And then when you combine the level 5 with the unique emblem Soul Banquet option card letting you evolve at cost -3, the fact that you can go from a level 3 to a level 5 to a level 7 all in one turn for a total of 6 memory is pretty incredible. Defensively, the level 6 Necromon seems quite strong actually. I like they're starting to introduce defensive variants for the already offensively strong level 6s that Liberator has, and things like this Necromon here. He retains that really useful on play and on delete, lets you play a level 5 Digimon or lower from the trash, as well as his all turns effect when another Digimon attacks by deleting this Digimon, you can delete one of your opponent's level 6s or lower Digimon, and if this effect doesn't delete anything, then you can just end the attack outright. So not only do you get to recurse into your level 5 from the on deletion effect, but also you can just end the attack so nothing else happens. Finally, the level 7 Dullahamon is probably one of my favorite aesthetics of all of the level 7 Liberator cards, basically being Ichabod Crane where the head is on the end of a mace. That is so sick. If piercing, security attack +1, and execute all weren't enough, the fact that he can delete a Digimon of the highest level whenever he's Digivolved into, and then if nothing gets deleted, he can just become a 19,000 Digimon is pretty incredible. 19k, 2 checks with piercing means that almost nothing survives. But wait, there's more. The on deletion to play a level 6 from your trash after he's deleted is actually insane. Having a stack with a Dullahamon with any of the gain +1 memory inheritance effects means that you can potentially just keep your turn after the turn ends. And actually, while we're on the topic of completely insane, the Violet Imboots just giving rush to your ghosts is something I thought they would never actually print on a card. Honestly, I think a lot of folks are rightly worried about the new Gallimon essentially like shutting down the ghost cards by preventing you from playing from trash for a turn, but honestly, with how fast and how memory efficient this deck is becoming, they might not even see him before they die. Sorry, Royal Knights players. It's time to talk about everyone's favorite archetype from the BT23 set, and that is Bees. Royal Base is finally upon us, and they're getting some new support thanks to some of the CS cards introduced in this set as well. They finally get access to their perfect search in the new Funbeemon level 3, whereas in the past they had to rely on some of the other insect searchers like Kokopiterimon and the like. This is nice because we also just have a security effect on these guys, whereas the previous bug searchers were just kind of useless after they left the field. This guy actually has another use outside of just, you know, being a searcher himself. The Waspon gives a really nice quality of life update to play a Royal Base Tamer, and though the Wiener card isn't amazing, the Fake Tamer from this set seems like a good target instead. Looking at the level 5, the Cannon Beemon's level 5 security effect isn't really anything to write home about, but the all turns and inheritance effects are awesome. It gives you another way to utilize your face-up security cards, this time as a measure of protection. Moving on to the level 6 Tiger Vespamon Ace, he looks like a great defensive combo with the Cannon Beemon I just talked about, as a way to slot more cards into your security and then bounce opponent's Digimon to hand. Then offensively, he can also utilize face-up cards to unsuspend for multiple attacks. Oh, holy crap, yeah, I just realized that this is all turns, which means you can actually double block as well, can't you? And he's actually kind of busted, he's kind of goated, hold up. Tiger Vespamon with the sauce? All that aura comes from the scarf, I'm telling you. Any character in a red scarf, they just get like 10 times the aura. And last but not least, the new Fake Tamer gives Royal Base some useful Tamer support. It gives the deck some much needed combo ability for putting cards face up in your security. She already provides 1 memory if you have a Royal Base in play, but also gives an additional memory and potentially 1 draw if you actually do your deck's game plan. Looks like it might be time for me to actually dust off my Liberator Royal Base cards because these new cards kind of fire. The Tiger Vespamon specifically I think is really, really great. What I really like about this deck as well is that it has like some really interesting typing for things like Cyborg, X-Antibody, Royal Base, and Liberator. I'm sure a lot of you folks out there are cooking up some nasty stuff that I haven't even thought of. And if you've got some ideas and you want to share them, put them down in the comments below because I'll be reading there as well. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. Before you get out of here, do me a favor, hit the subscribe button, and I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.